Hi, it's Emma and Carrie from the Wellbeing Centre for Learning.
Hi. We're doing a series on creating a successful life. This is episode 3. So just want to just take you back to episode 2, where we asked you to look and prioritise the areas that you want to focus on and improve to create a successful life. So we're hoping you've done that part and you've got ideas about sort of what you're visualizing and what you're wanting to achieve. Now, episode 3 is all about the mindsets around that. So we're going to look at all the different behaviors, mental chitter chatter that we have, just to see how we can use our inner voices to repattern and create success in our life. So the first area that I think Emma and I are going to have a chat about is actually thinking big. So sometimes people choose the easier path because they have fear, they don't want to be embarrassed, they don't want to feel all those negative feelings if they choose a bigger path and perhaps don't feel or achieve what they're setting out to achieve. So the only way that you're going to achieve success is to actually visualize and think big. If you reach for the stars, you will hit the moon at least. So visualizing that and having those big dreams can actually be self-fulfilling, can't they, Emma?
I think there's a very true part that I think the bigger that you think, the more that you'll push yourself forward. And I think what sometimes can happen is that we can become very comfortable in a good way, and very accustomed to our life and what we're doing, and don't always ask ourselves what more we want to be doing or achieving. And actually, by what you're saying is by actually pushing those boundaries of thought around what you really want to be doing and achieving and moving to that next stage, maybe in life or your challenges, then actually once you start moving and progressing with it, and the more you start thinking about it and talking about it, you actually end up finding that you're moving towards those bigger ideas and plans.
So it's a bit like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say to yourself, I can't do it, I'm never going to try it, you are never going to try, and you're never going to find out what you can achieve and how much you can sort of push yourself out of those comfort zones.
Or where somebody says to you that, well, you can't do this, or you can't do that, or you're not clever enough to do this, or you're not clever enough to do that. And those, you end up taking on board those opinions and beliefs of other people that may not be true of your actual self. And that's where this comes back to, isn't it? And it clicks into what we did in episode 2, where it is actually starting to challenge yourself and those ideas around where you genuinely want to be.
Yeah, so basically, I've got a little personal story. So when I was younger, I had a Saturday job, and I was told that I wasn't very intelligent by my manager, and it was really mean, to be fair. And that's kind of resulted in me sort of I'm a member of Mensa now, and it kind of propelled me. So I could have either sat back and listened to this lady and took on board her negative, untrue opinions of myself, or I could actually say, well, actually, no, I'm not like that, and challenge that and actually prove that that's incorrect. So I think, if there is negative nannies around you that are saying these things, then you don't have to take that to heart. You can actually use that to propel yourself, and to prove that to yourself that that's not actually the case. So you can use it in a positive way rather than a negative way as well. So I think it's important to surround yourself with positive people. Emma, before we came on air, actually called them cheerleaders, and I love that. So, tell us a bit about the cheerleaders, Emma, because I love what you said before. It'd be great to share that.
I think you have different cheerleaders in life. Some can be with you throughout life. So it might be a mum and a dad, or your parents, or siblings, and other times it can be people that you meet along the way. And I personally, again, I've had experiences of where there's somebody at work that champions what you do. You're not necessarily that close, or that even, that close even as friends or anything, but actually there is a belief that they know that you can do this and champion you as a person. That actually gives you confidence in a different way. So it's not your confidence and self-confidence, it's somebody else's confidence in you that enables you to push yourself forward and progress through with the thinking big and the challenges sometimes that you think aren't achievable, but through their belief in you being able to do it, you can do it. And they may only be in your life, because sometimes it could be days and hours, and sometimes it can be years and months. But I think that's where in life, if you can recognize your cheerleaders and the positive impact that they have on you, then you can be thankful and grateful for them as well.
And that can propel yourself to think bigger as well, can't it?
Yeah.
So it really is nurturing those positive relationships in your life. Like you say, you could have a cheerleader as a boss, it could be mum. It could be all manner of people, and like you say, they can be transient, or they can be there for the whole of your life. I just think that's a lovely concept. And I certainly, there's one thing that, thinking big, having the confidence in yourself, which is essential. But if you've also got those cheerleaders around you that are also supporting you thinking big, that makes things easier as well. So always have a look at the people around you and sort of what they're bringing to the table in how you feel about achieving it, and creating a successful life.
I think that goes back to the planning with the 2, doesn't it? With episode 2 and looking at the different areas in your life. As you're starting to think big, then that can actually start going into the planning of where and what areas that you may want to address, by being able to assess maybe who is in and around you at the moment. This massively links in, doesn't it, to what we call the wheel of well-being, isn't it? But that assessing of your life.
So it can do, sometimes when you're looking at one area, say, we a lot of our clients, they go, I want to build my own business. We do a lot around female entrepreneurs. And so what we find sometimes is that when we're life coaching and mentoring our clients through one area of well-being, it can also highlight other areas that they also need to combine together to achieve their success. So it might be the people in their life, the relationships, maybe it's their partner, are they supporting them, and that's going to have a huge impact also on their ability to create the success within their career or their business objectives as well. So they can interlink as well. So it's really useful to be mindful about that balance between sort of objectives and that successful life which you're creating, because you want to bring, you want to have those positive relationships and have them in your life going forward. So I think believing in yourself and visualizing what you are capable of achieving. I know at the start of any journey, it can sometimes be a little bit intimidating. So, if you're doing something new and ignorance can sometimes be bliss, and you're going along and you come up against something that you've not come up against before, keep thinking big, because you will learn your way around that. So you will pull people in and you will find answers to those. So you need to visualize what you want to achieve from the start, and don't be put off. So if you've got a little hurdle, you will find an answer, and don't give up. A lot of key mindsets for creating a successful life is actually learning throughout the process of achieving, you know, your success. So
it's a massive mindset.
If
you're prepared to think big, which is a mindset change if you're not used to thinking that way, and that's an altering of many different maybe beliefs as well and fears, but if you can actually alter and genuinely make those subtle changes around your mindset, then you can go on to achieve massive things in your life. And I think with the visualization as well, I think some of it is around thinking about the visual element of it in your head. Some of it will be about talking about it. Some of it will be about writing it down. So it's actually moving your journey forward through different methods of visualization, but it's actually, it doesn't always have to be pictorial. A lot of it can be through talking and speaking about it.
Yeah, and again, it's going back to that and challenging yourself. So confidence, I think we mentioned this sort of in episode 1. So confidence is about trusting yourself to be able to deal with the emotional outcomes of what happens. So a lot of people don't think big. They're too scared to think big because of the fear of the failure. So it really is about developing that mindset to know that you can fail, and it's that failure that is your life lesson. It's what makes you better. So along your journey, you are perfecting what you do. You're not going to start off, you know, the finished article. You've just got to be kind to yourself and allow that learning curve to happen throughout your success journey, and you know, you will learn. So each stage, and it's really empowering, and it builds your confidence each time when you know you fail and you learn and then you achieve, because you're rewriting your mindset of how you approach failure, and actually you're challenging how you're feeling. So by putting yourself out of your comfort zone, you're actually allowing yourself to feel those emotions and to build that resilience around those emotions to progress. So you'll automatically become more confident and feel more powerful and successful as a result during the journey.
I think, I mean, there's a real simple analogy to this as well, where, you know, as we grow up, you know, we can't walk when we're first born, can we? But we learn to get our balance, don't we? Then we learn to take a step. We fall down numerous times, we're held up, and eventually we find the confidence to stand up and do it ourselves. Then we find the confidence to then run and, you know, and still fall over and make those mistakes. And I think this is a little bit of an analogy around what this is about. You know, it's a simple step and technique to just start making those changes in your life, but not berate yourself for the things and the perceived maybe failures that we think there are and that there isn't, because you just keep on getting up and moving forward, getting up and moving forward, and eventually you get to where you want to be. And then you get there and you think, right, I'm going to be doing something different now, I'm going to look at something else.
And you know, it's that drive, isn't it? It's that proudness
yeah.
you can take when you've achieved things. So it's little milestones, and you know, it is self-fulfilling. And yeah. I love your analogy, Emma. It was beautiful.
We don't tell ourselves off though for falling over, do we? When we're learning to walk, we don't go there, oh gosh, you know, falling over again.
I'm not going to try again. I'm not
going to. No, I'm going to do it. No, I'm not going to learn to run because that's not useful. Do you know what I mean though? It is that though, isn't it? So, and also like reading and writing, you know, over years through educating ourselves and through the educational systems teaching us and our teachers along the way, we've actually learned to read, we've actually learned to write, we've actually learned to calculate and do math. Do you know what I mean? We've actually learned, but we didn't berate ourselves for spelling something wrong, or, you know, we've learned, we've had to form words, you know, writing. So I think if you can put that back into where we are in terms of what we're wanting to achieve in our life in those many different areas, you know, the younger self of us, we wouldn't be berating for not doing it perfectly first time.
And it is that mind chatter, isn't it? It's what, you know, that you're continually telling yourself as well. So you might not even realise it. And we're big believers in be very mindful about your inner voice. Is sometimes you have these negative kind of mantras that you're telling yourself, and you know they've probably born out somewhere from childhood, or you know they can come from anywhere, but you don't even realize that you're mentally telling yourself all this negative chatter in your head. And it's so damaging because it's on a subconscious level. You know, you're not realizing it. So we say be mindful, listen to your inner voice, listen to what you're telling yourself, because it's very hard to think big while you've got this negative internal chatter and monologue going on inside your head. So it's listening to that and putting positive affirmations. I know that we're going to discuss this in a later episode about positive affirmations and how you can use this in combination to creating your successful life and helping your mindsets create that successful mindset.
It can start stemming some of that negative mind chatter or that negative limiting beliefs. It can start altering what we think.
And there are many techniques for altering mindsets. I mean, we're probably not going to cover some of them in this series, but it'd definitely be other workshops that we're doing, sort of because we're both life coaches. We do holistic therapies as well. So we've got a whole armory of toolkits really to
creating new behaviours.
To create new behaviours. Yeah. So exciting. So thank you for joining us on episode 3. I hope we've given you food for thought to go away and sort of think about how you're thinking, how you're perceiving, how you can think big, and how you can incorporate these mindsets to create your successful life. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.